can do is that you can open a file which I have shared with you, Excel file है. हाँ, इसमें ये वाली फाइल जो है ये बिजनेस प्लान फाइनेंशियल ईयर 10 years वो वाला टेम्पलेट है. You can just open. Okay. Morning. So you have 5 students, है ना? अभी और आना है बाकी. So in today's lecture, what we'll be covering is a very important lecture. We'll be covering basically how to make a business plan, and then how to make a balance sheet, profit loss account, and cash flow for the next 5-10 years. Okay, so this will help you basically even to value a company, and sometimes you have to make budgets or annual operating plans or business plan for the future. So you have to make a projection of your how much profits you are going to make, how much capital expenditure you are going to do, and how many products you are going to manufacture, and what kind of a mix you should have so that you can be more profitable. So we're going to understand that. So I'm just sharing a template, okay? So just open the template. We'll be starting template little later, but just to show you, first, ये बंद क्यों होंगे? ये आपके अपने पास रखो. So is it connected? अब आएगी, आ जाएगी. थोड़ा लूज कनेक्शन था, ठीक है. So the first sheet talks about assumptions. Okay, have you opened your Excel sheet? So the first sheet talks about the company name. You have to name a company. ये आप उसको open कर लो. I have just shared an Excel sheet. So it is the company assumptions basically. You have to make a business. Fine. So what you will be doing? अब आज तो हम जो करेंगे, I mean we will be putting some data which I have actually put. Then you are going to make your own business plan. Okay. So these are basically automated balance sheet, profit loss account, and everything. So you don't have to do much. You have to just enter the data, and automatically you will have the cash flow, balance sheet, and profit loss account. Okay. So सबसे पहले क्या है? You have to make a company's name. Fine. So you can choose any company by your own name. Okay. Fine. So like for example, I make with my name. Okay. So you can choose your own name. Initial financial year. So it has to be 2022, or you can even have any other financial year, but 2022 would be this thing. And then July में, you take like for example April. Okay. April as the start of the year. Okay. So company name will be your own name. हाँ जी. ये मैंने शेयर है ना. बिजनेस प्लान नहीं, ये आपके पास जो है so business plan करके फाइल है. Okay, so first you can do is you can change the name of the company. So I'm just changing. So it is Pravesh. I am just filling again. Initial financial year will be 2022, and July में जाके you just choose April. That means you're going to start your projections right from April 2022, and then make the projections for the whole year, and then followed by next couple of years or 5 years. And the base currency you can just mention rupee here. Fine. यहाँ रुपये डाल दीजिए, तो आपका जो फिगर आएगा वो रुपीज में होगा. ठीक है. Fine. Is that okay? So once you have done it, just save it by whatever name you want to call it. So you can just save this as इसका नाम क्या है? Financial FIB. So I'm just saving the name of FIB. So I've just saved it. So just come out of it. at the moment. So we'll revisit this statement again. Fine. So, but you can just be there for a while. Okay. So you have filled up the assumptions, isn't it? Then you have the profit loss account. Come in. So you will have a profit loss account here. Take your seat. Everybody is there now? Achha. So if you see the second tab, it is called the profit loss account. Okay. Then we have the balance sheet. Fine. Then we have the cash flow. Then we have the sales plan. Then we have financing. You know how you're going to finance your project. What will be your equity capital? What will the loan you're going to take? Then the capex, which means what kind of expenditure you'll be doing to buy plant and equipment, machine, building, factory, everything. Then use of funds. So this is a fund flow statement. Okay, cash flow and fund flow statements are followed. So if you look at profit loss account, there will be monthly accounts: April, May, June, July for the first year, and then total of year one. Fine. So you will have individual. You have to plan how much you're going to sell every month, the product which you're going to manufacture, or you're going to have a service industry, so you're going to service some products, so you have to choose that. Then there is second year, which is also monthly. Okay, so then the year 2, then year 3 onwards it is yearly. Okay, it goes right up to year 10. Fine. So which means that you have to make projections of your sales. Okay, and similarly you have to tell what is going to be your cost and what is going to be your profit. Okay. Fine. So just listen to me. Abhi koi problem hai aapko? Okay. So what you have to do is basically you have to choose a product. What kind of product you are going to sell, okay, or what kind of services you are going to offer to your customers. So based on that, you are going to make a plan. So we're going to do it very easy. Okay. So the first 2 years are monthly based, where you're going to tell, what is your product, what will be the selling price, what will be the value of the, total sales, and then followed by, what is your markup, how much profit you're earning. Okay, so for example, if you go to, the profit loss account, I was just showing you that right away. So there are instructions which are given on the right, but you can read them later on. Okay, so you go to sales plan. If you go to sales plan, you have to enter your sales plan here. The inputting has to be done, in the input files, and it will automatically take you to the profit loss account. Whatever you put here, it will go to either profit loss account or balance sheet. Okay, so if you just scroll down this everything, so it will give you the sales, monthly sales, yearly sales, and then this is the cost of goods sold. That means how much will be your what will be your cost of. You will assume that you are not having any opening and closing stock for a very simple reason, that whatever you are buying, you are selling. Okay, of course you can always make those things later on. Now then the markup here. Fine, so you have to give just the markup here. How much? Like 50%. Okay, so you mention here second product 60%, like this. Third product, it can be 40%. Okay, so mention that. Automatically cost of goods sold will get populated. So you don't have to much do anything. Automatically, if you think that how much profit you are going to make on your cost, okay, it will project your total cost for each. So for individual products, you have to give different margins. Okay, so we find product 1, product 2, product 3. So the moment you give margins, fine. So you will find so I'm going to fill up later on. Okay, so let it remain as 0 at the moment. Okay, so then the sales plan you have filled up. That means what is going to be your product. For example, if you go here, so this is going to be your product. Okay, product 1, product 2, product 3. So you have to name your products. If you're going to only make one product, just name it. If you're going to make, say, 5 products, you have to name them, what all you are going to sell. Okay, and then there will be cost associated to these products. So where you are going to just mention the markup basically on the right hand side, and the cost will get automatically populated. Okay, then you have basically the capex plan. That means what kind of equipments you are going to use. Fine. So equipment 1, equipment 2, equipment 3. Think about, you're going to buy a plant and machinery. Okay. Then what will be the, the plant and machineries are depreciated. It has a useful life. So whether your plant and machinery is having a 10-year life, 5-year life, 3-year life, so you have to define that under the column type. Okay. Here the type will come. So you have to choose basically the type. Suppose you say plant. Okay. And you say, say for example 20,000 or 2,000. Then it will ask you the type here. हाँ यहाँ आएगा यहाँ तो यहाँ पर आपको बताना है ये 10 ईयर है या 5 ईयर है okay the moment you will put that automatically depreciation will be calculated and will go to the profit loss account okay so we are just undoing it at the moment ठीक है तो यहाँ पर आपका capex plan आ जाएगा then financing what kind of how much money you're going to raise through equity how much loans you're going to take okay so suppose you say bank loan you're going to take say this much of bank loan okay sorry bank loan number 1 so you have to mention here or you can say it is a term loan that means it is for 5 years or 10 years or whatever then mention the loan amount here fine okay and then once you have entered the loan amount go at the bottom and dividend छोड़ दीजिए term loan so then you say what is the rate of interest you're going to take suppose it is going to be say 7% okay so automatically your the bank term loan will come here basically okay the liability because you have to so it will 7% आपका interest आ जाएगा यहाँ पर okay fine so then you can say additional rate suppose for example you say it is 7.5% you're paying 7% and 0.05 fine so it is going to be like this okay so you can always include say 1% for example okay suppose you take a floating loan which says that 7% plus 1% floating charge okay which can keep increasing or decreasing as the interest rates go up and down so you can always choose this or you can just for keeping simple you can just put a base rate and do your plan okay fine then you have to mention here 0 then only the value will come okay fine so sales plan and then automatically your profit loss account balance sheet will be coming here okay okay so just see some figures have been already there I'm just going to remove them so we are going to do only after we have entered okay so this is what we are going to do so you will have automatic profit loss account balance sheet and everything with you so let's start with let's understand how do we make projections first of all so there is a file financial estimates and projections okay so you can just open the second is your project which I have so there is financial estimates and so you might not open because I'm just going to open and take you through so this is basically the theory behind financial estimates and projections so what you have to do basically okay fine how do we make projections so what is financial projection okay can you read Pulkit
yes sir
थोड़ा तेज be louder
financial forecasting is the process of estimating or predicting how a business will perform in the future
so basically you're finding out how the business is going to perform in future
the most common type of financial forecast is an income statement. However, in a complete financial model, all three financial statements are forecasted.
So basically, you have to make a forecast of your income, okay, and then you make your profit loss account and a balance sheet and a cash flow, okay. From all the forecasts what you have made, so you will have all the three statements being made simultaneously.
In general, you will need to develop both short and mid-term financial projections.
So basically, you're going to make projections for the current year, next year, and maybe for another 4 years down the line or 10 years, depending upon how far the visibility of your business is. If you can foresee what you are going to do, say in the 9th or 10th year, you can go as long as 10-year projections. But normally, about 7 to 8 years projections are enough. Okay, but you can even make 10-year projections.
A short-term projection accounts for the first year of your business, normally outlined month by month.
So a short-term projection is generally on a monthly basis. So what you do is that how much you are going to do for each month. What will be your sale of a product? What will be your selling price? Okay, and what will be your cost? So you keep doing it for at least for 1 year or 2 years, a monthly projection. Okay.
A midterm financial projection typically accounts for the coming 3 years of business, outlined year by year.
So then you move on from monthly basis to the yearly basis as you go along in the third year, fourth year, fifth year. So instead of doing a monthly kind of a projection, so you make it on a yearly basis. Okay.
Financial estimates and projections include cost of project, needs of financing, estimates of sales and production, cost of production, working capital requirement and its financing, profitability projection, projected cash flow statements, and projected balance sheets.
So what you do basically, you first of all you identify what is going to be your cost of project. If you're going to start a project, okay, so what will be the cost? Now, fortunately, when I was working in one of the company, in Birla company, before that I was in Balagpur Industries, which was my, almost like my first job in a major company. So from there, I moved to Gwalior, and I was called for an interview, and this basically was a position of manager commercial, where the company Grasim Industries, they were setting up a new plant, which was meant to produce woolen yarn. Okay, from yarn we manufacture fabric, basically the trousers and shirts. So it was a woolen, worsted woolen yarn factory. So it was basically for the winter months, the whatever we use, coats or pants or whatever. And our raw material was to be imported from, Australia and New Zealand, because the wool comes from there. Okay. And I was involved, when I joined the company, I had no idea about, starting a new business and, what to do about it. So my chief who was there, so he said, okay, don't worry, because he didn't have any exposure either. But he was quite senior, he was the president of the company. So he says, we will work together and understand. So, I remember, of course, after some time when the plant was being under construction, so we started, placing our orders for wool from Australia. Okay. So Australia, New Zealand, it's early morning. So I used to get up early in the morning and make calls, go to the net. Now, of course, internet was not there at that time. It was there, but it was very slow. Or rather, in that year, it was not there. So we used to make calls and, book containers in the futures market. Like it was in the month of, for example, April, and we knew that our plant will be up and ready in the month of November. So we'll be needing wool. So then we planned a production, how much production we'll be doing every month. So we were ramping up as, time was progressing, and we knew that we can produce more and more once we start producing and we get orders. So, I used to book containers of wool, full one container, 2 containers, 3 containers for August, September, October, November, because it takes, the containers, start from Australia, and it takes about, a month to reach Bombay port, and then you have to get it cleared, and then the things will come from Bombay to Gwalior. Okay, I was in a place called Malanpur, which is an industrial area, which is about 30 kilometers away from Gwalior. So we had planned everything that, how much production we'll be making once the plant is ready, and how much, wool we'll be requiring, okay, for making our yarn. So for making a yarn, we require wool and and polyester. Okay. So polyester can be, available in India, and Reliance is one of the biggest viscose fiber, plant they have got. Birlas have a very big viscose fiber factory in Nagda. And Reliance was actually, manufacturing that particular input which we are supposed to require. And they were, dominating the market, and they were actually fixing the price. Whatever the price which Reliance was selling, that will be the price that will become, for all others to sell at. So there was another plant called Indian Organic Limited, which is, somewhere in, there's a place called Lonavala, which is, near to Mumbai. So we identified that is a place where we can, just hold on. So we identified that was the place where we can buy our, just let me put my phone on silent mode. So we identified that Indian Organic Chemical was a place, And in fact, it happened that, I had gone to that factory for an interview. And I was selected also to join as a finance head, but I couldn't join. Anyway, so that was, some time back before joining this company. So then we started placing order for polyester from Indian Organic Limited based on what will be our requirement. And the moment I joined, the plant was under construction. We had already acquired a land. The land was given by the state government to us on a long 20 years lease. So I started ordering, equipments, material. Like, we had to buy, cement, steel. So I approached Tata Steel, Steel Authority of India. Before that, I had no knowledge about, buying things. But as it happened, because we didn't have time, we had to fast order everything. So I could learn by, by ordering and understanding, how the market behaves. So we are ordering, steel, cement, and then, equipments from abroad, from Germany, from UK, and from other places, because, all those equipment will arrive, and the plant, and it will get, erected by the foreign technicians. So we call them after the, equipment was bought, and it was, custom cleared from Bombay. So it arrived in our plant after some time. So then we made a call to the foreigners to come and, put the machines, erect those machines. As we learn, all these is a process basically. So then, we ordered all the plant equipment machines. And that time, the duty on, all the equipment and plants which we import was very high. It was, the tune of about 50%. It was even 100% earlier. Of course, it was brought down to about 40 or 50%. So we had to pay a lot of money by way of custom duty to the government. And of course, my boss called me and he says that, we should, use some kind of incentive schemes. There is an exempt policy of India, which says that if you are importing certain thing and you are going to, after manufacturing or adding any value to it, you're going to export it out, then there is a scheme called EPCG scheme. You obtain a license from the, DGFT office, which is the Director General Trade, Foreign Trade Office. You go there and apply, make an application, okay? And there is something called Handbook of Procedures, okay? An exempt policy, which is, all the time available when you work, if you're handling such kind of, activities. And every 2 years or 1 year, the government revises, the exempt policy of India. What will be the imports, what will be the exports, and what are going to be the policies. So government wants to, promote exports more and more, okay? And they bring out a lot of changes in the exempt policy every year. And there is a 2 fat books of Handbook of Procedures, which will give you all the formats, the application forms and everything, and give a full detailing about, whenever you have to make an application for getting a license to import something where you don't have to pay any duty, because you're going to actually manufacture products and you're going to sell them abroad. Okay, so I got from the Handbook of Procedures, I downloaded the format. Now of course you can go to the online and do it. So in those days, you print those forms, and then myself, on my own computer, I just filled up all the particulars and took a printout, got it signed from myself and from my boss, and then dashed to Bhopal, where the DGFT office was there, and filed the application to them that we are importing equipment, we have already placed the order, and we are going to use it for our manufacture of yarn, and we are going to export most of it. So give us a kind of a license where we don't have to pay any custom duty. So and in fact we got that license, and ultimately we had an export obligation. That means whatever we are going to manufacture within 8 years, to the total amount of the machines we have actually imported, up to that amount we have to export, and balance we can always use it for our domestic purposes. And then, the equipment which was ordered from abroad, it landed at Bombay port, and then it needs to be cleared from the customs. Okay, so we have to file something called bill of entry, where you mention, this is the product which is coming, and this is under so-and-so chapter of the Custom Tariff Act. The duty is 40%, but we are availing an exemption because we are going to use a license, so the custom duty is going to be 0. So we fill up all the particulars in that bill of entry and file with the help of our clearing agent at Bombay, custom house clearing agent. So we use them basically, and of course the name of them had not changed. It was called CHA at that time. So we engaged the CHA, and we filed a bill of entry with the customs, and then, my boss called me, and there were some more equipment which are not coming under the license. So he said that, as we are going to import, and there are going to be, some duty we have to pay on certain equipment. But we were approaching somewhere in the month of February that time. So budget was being announced. Budget was coming. And he said, in budget, the custom duties are going to be brought down. So the material will come sometime in January, end of February, beginning, before the budget is announced. So how do we go about it? Should we clear it after the budget? Will we benefiting for the custom duty if it is brought down? I had no clue. So I looked at the exempt policy and inquired from so many places and found that we can, get those equipment in India and put them in a bonded warehouse in Bombay port somewhere. Okay. So there are many bonded warehouses like Kunjamarg. There's a place called Kunjamarg where you put all those, and there are many more now, of course. So you can put all your, equipment there, put them in a godown, and you file a bonded warehouse bill of entry. So you have to change the name. So when you're filing a bill of entry, you're saying that I'm going to bond it. I'm going to put it in a godown for a certain period before I clear it. So we filed that bill of entry, and we kept the goods in, bonded warehouse in Bombay at one of the port locations. And when the custom duty was announced in the budget, it was brought down almost half. So then we cleared that. So during all this, I learned a lot about, how to, handle all this. Before that, I had no idea. I was very young, maybe around close to about 25 or 30, almost maybe a couple of years older than you. So I was thrown into all this. So every day, I used to get calls from my project chief that, cement is not there, bricks are not there, steel is not there. Somewhere I'll get a call from the custom authorities that, your goods have arrived and, it need clearance. If you don't clear them within a certain period of time, then they charge demurrage, which is a heavy penalty. So which, if a heavy penalty is charged, then, the person who's handling this job is questioned by the auditors as well as by your bosses, why we have paid so much of penalty. So we have to move very quickly. So I remember, I was starting my office at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning, right up to 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the evening, I was working. In the morning, I was calling Australia and New Zealand for booking wool. And in the evening, I was calling, in somewhere in Germany and England, chasing for the machines which we have ordered, when they will be ready and then they'll be coming. So it was a unique experience for me. For 18 months, when I was there for 2 years in the company, and in 18 months, I learned something which I have never learned in my life. Okay. And after that, I thought, I can handle anything in my life. Before that, I used to feel, I was only in accounts, finance, and understanding about, all those things which are done in your room itself. Okay, here I had to move basically and, move to the field, go to the DGFT office for chasing up the license, go to custom authorities in Bombay to clear the goods, go to, various agencies for getting, clearances for, starting the new project. Because when you start a new project, you require a lot of clearances from environmental clearances, pollution clearances, the boiler, we're putting a boiler, a huge boiler in our factory. So you can't run a boiler before you get a consent from the boiler chief inspector of boilers. So he has to be called, they inspect, everything, and then they give you a certificate that you can start the boiler. You operate the boiler almost at 10 times than its, pressure. So that if we can withstand that, then, it's absolutely fine, because then it becomes, it's become a very dangerous kind of an equipment. In many occasions in past, or maybe, in earlier times, that they have exploded and caused, casualties around. So I was handling, everything, basically. Everything was a new challenge for me. Somebody called me and says, nail khatam ho gaya. Keel khatam ho gaya. I was ordering for pin to plane, everything, So, and I can't say, no, I can't look at if the nails are not there or screws are not there, the plant will stop. Okay, because it was under a stage of construction. I remember, when I did all this in 2 years, I had a good, rich experience of handling a project. I was lucky, I told my boss when I started, I said, I have no idea about, handling a new project. He says, even he doesn't have. So don't worry. So we are together and we will solve all this in a time to come. So after 2 years, I was looking for a change. I don't know, I'll tell you what the reasons were, but I was looking for a change and I applied for many companies for a job. And wherever I went, they, offered me a letter with my whatever exposure and experience I've got. So it was a kind of a good thing for me that I have learned something and I was able to, get jobs without any difficulty. Okay, anyway. So cost of the project means what all you're going to, spend, how much machines, equipments, vehicles, all kinds of, computers, laptops, furnitures, everything is the cost of project and cost of making your factory. Means of financing from where you're going to get the money. Of course, we were fortunate it was a Birla company. In my project, all the money was coming from Birlas. So we don't have to go to the bank or go to raise equity ourselves. Okay. Estimate of sales and production. But of course, if it would have been, it would have given me an exposure further. But anyway. But that was itself for me for keeping me busy for almost 18 hours in a week. In a day. Estimates of sales and production. Then you estimate, what will be your sales? What will be your production? How much you're going to produce? Month by month, production planning has to be done. Before even the plant was put up, for making production, we were making, our projections, how much every month we will be making, how much yarn we will be making every month. Okay, how much wool we will be requiring, how much polyester we will be requiring. So we are making all the estimates of our sales and production when, things were done. Then the cost of production. What will be our cost of producing the goods? What will be the manpower requirement? What will be, the power requirement? So we are using, boilers, we were using, other equipments, DG sets. So, and, cost of conversion of raw material into finished goods. So all kinds of things go to labor, material and everything. And I remember, what happened was the thing was not coming to an end because I was working. I thought now the plant is, set up. So at least my life will be easier. But as soon as the plant started, I got a call from my boss that, go to the, production floor area and it is full of wool waste. There were 2 rooms, they had become almost full. So he says, all this, raw material what you are using, it generates a wool waste. And it has to be, kept somewhere. You can't be kept on the floor of the shop floor. So he says, this has to be disposed of. It has to be sold. It is sold. To whom we have to sell? He says, we have to, we have to find out people who are buying this wool waste. So I found that, somewhere in Amritsar, somewhere in Jalandhar, Ludhiana, there are people who are buying this wool waste and making carpets out of it or making, blankets out of it. So then we had to, it was not easy that, call them and take this wool. So we had to make a tender, asking them the quotation, how much they're going to pay us and allot that wool to those people who are going to give us the highest price. So tomorrow the auditors, when they come and check, how we have disposed of the wool. So these are the 3 people who gave us the quotation and we gave them to the highest person. And then, what happened was that production started and we were using boiler and the boiler and the DG sets and all. So we were using coal, okay, for firing our boilers. So it was a coal fired boiler. Nowadays we have furnace oil, diesel oil and maybe other, green fuel has come. So at that time we needed, coal. For coal also you have to go to the DGFT office, to someone of the Director General office and apply for quota of coal. The quota is not available. If you get it through the quota, it's cheaper, it's half the price. But if you're, buying it from the open market, it will be double the price. So then we had to make an application, okay, to the authorities that we are going to, we need coal for manufacturing of our product. Once the coal comes, it starts using, the ash is generated. And the ash gets filled up in the factory. Now I got a call from the chief engineer that there's a lot of ash lying there. So this has to be, sent to ash, this thing where, ash has been disposed of. There are a lot of places where you can throw your garbage and everything. So there's a landfills where you can, near Gwalior, there was a place. So we had to engage a person who will, put in a truck all the ash and move it to the place. Then to add that, there was another thing, equipment, machines, everything started arriving. We have ordered a lot of consumables, they started arriving, which we have already placed the order in the last 6 months, a lot of ordering was done and I was involved in each and every order. So all the materials started coming in. Okay, so we were getting calls that your equipment has arrived in Gwalior Transport Authority, so please make arrangements for pickup. Or where do we, put it? So I then called my boss. I said, all the equipment have come. Should we send it to the factory, which was under construction? A lot of dust was there and the factory was under construction. So, no, we need a godown. We're in Gwalior somewhere and we have to put all those goods in the godown. Okay. So that means I have to search a godown. Luckily, I got a person, he says that he has got 10,000 square feet placed somewhere and he can put all your stuff there. But then all the stuff which is coming, that has to be kept in an order. You can't just put it like this, okay? So you have to make some kind of bins and everything, and you have to have a storekeeper, and you have to make some documents which are called good received notes and good issue notes. All that documentation has to be there where the goods can move in and move out. So there has to be kept an inward register for all the goods which are coming. So everything was planned, in a very fast manner, and we organized a godown. Goods were coming. So for the first, document which was made by my hand. Some goods came, and I got the goods with the help of some laborers and kept it somewhere in the godown. So it was like an experience of all sorts, happening every day. Okay, cost of production, working capital requirement, and its financing. So when you do business, you require, two kinds of capital. One is the fixed capital for buying plant and equipment and machinery. Another is called the working capital for meeting out your, basically, you have to have some inventory. When you make your goods, you will have inventory of raw material, you have inventory of, semi-finished goods, you have inventory of finished goods. So you have to keep a lot of, money blocked in your inventories before, it reaches to the customer hand and it becomes your sale. And again, the customer will not pay you upfront. He will also take, a month or 2 months of credit. So then your receivables also may get blocked. So inventory, receivables, okay, these are one of the major sorts of, source of, money which you require for doing a business. And that, called the current assets minus the current liabilities, we call it working capital. And, because when you're purchasing, you're also getting credit from your suppliers. So you're not even also paying them upfront. So that's become your current liabilities, okay? So current assets minus current liabilities is your working capital. So that also needs to be, arranged for. Either you arrange it from the bank or arrange it for yourself. As a businessman, you put your own money, capital, okay? Then you make profitability projections, okay? Then you make, a profit loss account month-wise, year-wise, which you are going to do shortly. Then projected cash flow statements, how the cash may look like. It may happen that you are making profitable, but you are not generating enough cash. And that will soon come to know when we make those projections. So if there is a shortage of cash, then you have to take a bank overdraft, okay, or a limit from the bank to meet out that temporary, the customers are not paying upfront and you are producing and buying raw material, okay, you need cash, fine. So sometimes there will be a mismatch in, cash. You may have, negative cash balance. To overcome that, you require, a temporary overdraft. So we'll understand. Projected balance sheets, okay, so all this you are going to do. So this is, the cost of project and all those, okay. So what all you're going to do basically, so these are your cost of project, where all you're going to spend your money. You're going to buy land, develop the land, make a building, plant and machinery, technical know-how and engineering fees, expenses on foreign technicians who will come and, put your machines, this thing, as we had bought some machines from Germany and we had to call a foreign technicians for erecting those machines in our plant. Then office equipments, like laptop, computers, vehicles, you may need cars for your employees, or you may need some, delivery vehicle, van for, getting your, sending your goods outside to the customers or to the various locations, and some other assets. Fine. So means of finance can be basically, I'm just going to move a little quickly. So means of finance can be either your own money, okay, or you take a loan, term loan, 10 years, 5 years loan. Debenture capital, that means you're going to issue bonds, okay. Then deferred credit, that means you say that, okay, I'll pay later, but I'll buy today and pay later to a supplier, so he's going to give you a deferred credit. Then some miscellaneous sources. So then you are going to make an estimates of sales and production. So we'll understand this more in detail as we do in practical, okay. Then estimates of sales and productions is all theory, so you can read cost of production also, we can skip at the moment, okay. Then the working capital requirement, which will be again discussed when we do, so basically, if you look at, this is all the working capital. That is the raw material, stocks of goods in process, stocks of finished goods, debtors, operating expenses, consumable stores. So you have all that stuff in your business, okay. So that will become, that needs to be financed from your, capital, okay, which is you're going to either borrow money from the bank and take a bank overdraft or a credit limit, okay. So sources of working capital. So this is also we are going to do. Okay, so we are going to just come out of this because a lot of theory. So we are going to now move on to some practical exercise. Okay, straight away. So what I've done, I've just make a slide again here. I made a project. Okay, so I'll expect that you also do it later on. Okay, make your own project sometime. Okay. So, my company name is HP Computers Limited. So basically, it's a company which is manufacturing computers and computer peripherals. Okay. Now, just read this, Pulkit.
HPL Computers Limited has begun PC manufacturing in Sri
Perambur.
Perambur near Chennai. This expansion is a part of long-term commitment to the Indian market and its efforts to serve its partner and customers better. The plant will manufacture desktops, laptops, and workstations that enable company to meet current and future customer needs while driving greater operational efficiency.
Okay, so what this company is going to do, they are going to manufacture the desktops, laptops, and workstations where you can put your this thing. So these are the three products which my company is going to manufacture. Okay. Now, what is the cost of the project? This is 500 lakhs, 5 crores. Okay. So they are going to buy equipment worth 4 crores, office equipment 40 lakhs, vehicles 30 lakhs, furniture fixture 40 lakhs. Okay. So this is all what I am going to spend. Okay. Then project financing 100 crores, 100 lakhs from equity. So the owner is I'm going to put 100 lakhs into the business. I'm going to take a loan of 400 lakhs as a term loan. The working capital we will met out of the internal accruals because I'll be generating enough money in my business so I don't have to go and take loan from outside. So to keep it simple, I've kept that I'll be using my own money. Okay, so that I don't complicate it. You can always make it complicated when you make your projections. Okay, so, first? First day manufacture because I'm contributing 1 crore rupees as share capital. So there will be enough cash. Investment का है ना? You have not. This is the investment. Okay, I'm going to take a loan of 4 crores upfront and 100 lakhs of capital. I'm going to infuse 5 crores into the business by borrowing 4 crores from a bank and taking 1 crore from myself as a equity. So I have got 5 crores with me to start with. So that will help me. So what I have done to keep it simple, I've kept everything. Money will be infused in the day one when you start the business. Okay, so you're not cash strapped. The products are going to be these three. Okay, desktops, laptops, and workstations. And now I'm just focused because the most interesting part has begun now after the theory is over. Okay, so the project details. Okay, fine. So I'm going to manufacture laptops, desktops, and workstations. So selling price of the desktop initially, the first year will be 25,000. Laptops I'm going to sell at 50,000 and workstations at 5,000 rupees. Okay. Then this is going to be my cost. I've given a breakup of the cost also later. So 11,250 is my cost per unit. 21,000 for laptop and 2,000 for the workstation. So this is my gross profit I'm making. Okay, this minus this. Then this is my markup, 55%. Okay, and you can see the formula which I've used to arrive at the markup. Then the cost of goods sold will be 45%. Rest of it. Capacity is I'm going to manufacture maximum 2,600 desktops, 1,650 laptops, and workstations 2,600. So maximum sales if I do everything will be 15 crore 30 lakhs if I am running on a full capacity. So when you make your business plan, so you can just make some numbers so that when you're making, you check whether it's not crossing that. You have made some errors. So your sales should never please exceed these limits. Okay, even if we are working at 100% capacity. But normally you will be always looking at a lower than the capacity what you have, maybe 80, 90 or 100. Okay. So this is the cost breakup I have done. Okay. Like hard disk. Because I'm going to manufacture laptop. So this I just made. Okay, I have not used it much in my calculations of that. So this is a one time what I have done to make it look like the project is real one. Okay. So hard disk, processor, motherboard, RAM, some GPU, and some boot and screws for your workstations, some overheads, total cost, gross profit and markup. So it is just a breakup of my cost. Fine. Okay. Fine. So nothing more. I mean, this is just a number which I have given you. Then some assumptions are there. Very important assumptions. Okay. Sales people who will be with me, who will be on the street or in my office, who will be making marketing and sales. So that's 5% of the sales. So whatever sales I do, I'll be spending 5% on these. I'll be hiring people based on that percentage of my sale. The more sale I do, I need more people. So that 5% will take care of my budget for. Other personal expenses is going to be 50,000 per month. So other people I require, I kept a short figure of 50,000 rupees. You can only make anything. Rent and other shop expenses 2,50,000. I'm going to pay a rent of 2,00,000 rupees 50,000 for whatever place where I'm going to manufacture all these equipments. Okay, and a shop where I'm going to a showroom or an outlet or whatever. So rent and other shop expenses 2,00,000. Marketing costs are going to be 5%. Same as sales, marketing cost. Because I'm going to advertisement, I'm going to make outdoor advertisements or maybe in the radio, newspaper, print media, whatever. So I'm going to spend 5%. Other selling costs are going to be just 0.25%. Okay. Fine. Some business plan or some price, pamphlets or papers or whatever. So some stationery I'm going to use and some other cost. Okay. Then administrative remuneration is 1,25,000. Fine. So I'm going to hire some people. We're going to look at for the HR function or finance function or whatever. Then other administrative costs will be 15,000. Interest on loan 7%. Okay, is that okay? So I've just made some assumptions. So roughly you can also make some assumptions. Then the working capital assumptions. Accounts receivable. I'm going to give 30 days to my customers to pay the money. The moment I make a sale, they will pay me the money after 30 days. Okay. So 1 month credit. So what I've done, I've made a business plan where I've kept that whatever I'm telling, I'm getting the money immediately. The first business plan. Second, I've added this just on a process so that you understand. The first process would be that there will be no debtors, there will be no inventory, there will be no payables. Then we add them in the second set so that you understand step to step so that you understand how I've generated. Then some inventory is there which is going to be finished good inventory. Raw material nil inventory assume 30 days I'll have finished goods with me. So I make my products and then they are going to lying in my godown for 30 days for that kind of inventory so that I can, when I get orders, I can supply from my inventory, finished goods inventory. Then the accounts payable, my suppliers are going to give me 15 days credit when I buy goods from them. Okay, now I'll just show you the Excel sheet. Okay, this is what I have done. Okay, I made an Excel sheet which talks about, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Now this is monthly, this is monthly. I've just clubbed them into yearly. Okay. So this is going to be my sales. Okay. I'm just explaining, I'll go to the Excel sheet straight away. So, the selling price is 25,000 in the first year. Next year I've jacked up to 27,000. Then, third year I made it 27,500, 28,000 and 29,000. Just some, numbers I've taken. Then for laptop also it's a 50,000, 54,000, 58 like I have jacked up because every year when because of inflation I have to my cost of material will go up, so I have to increase my selling price a bit so that it can be taken by my customers, it can be passed on to my customers. Okay. Now these are the sales units. Like how many desktops I'm going to sell. So 624 multiplied by 25,000, this figure will get populated here. Okay. Laptops 240 into 50,000. 1 crore rupees. This figure will be there. Then, the cost of goods. So I'm just going to put up my markup in my Excel sheet, and automatically these figures will get populated. Okay. And then I have gross profit straight away. Once I do all these things, my gross profit will automatically come. So I need not get bothered about this. I can check whether this is okay if I want to work because the Excel sheet is doing the calculation by itself. Okay. Then so this is my gross profit. Then I'm going to have all these expenses. For example, sales personnel. It's 5% of my sales. Okay, so I have done like that. Other personal expenses, which is 50,000 rupees per month. Rent 2,50,000 per month. Marketing cost again 5%. Other selling 0.25%. Okay. Administrative maybe around 1,25,000. 1,25,000. Then other administrative. So all costs are coming. Okay. Then of course I have arrived at what is my EBITDA, depreciation, EBIT tax, and then the PAT. So after I'll get this will be my sale minus my all this will be my EBITDA. Okay, that is earning before interest, depreciation, and amortization. Then I reduce the depreciation I'll get EBIT. So in the first year, I'm making a loss. Okay. Then interest, I've taken a loan of 4 crore, 7%. Okay. Or 5 crore, 7%. So it comes to 35 lakhs. We'll check that number. Then EBIT. So I'm making a loss of 50 lakhs. Then tax, there is no tax because we are zero, the PAT. Similarly, I've done it for all the years. Okay. So tax will come. Okay. Then I made a balance sheet and this, all these assets and liabilities will automatically come. Okay. Then we can always check, whether we'll understand whether the assets and liabilities are all, coming out of our projection. And a cash flow will automatically come. So you don't have to do anything. Balance sheet, cash flow will be automatic. But then just go through to understand, how it has been linked and how it has come. Okay, fine. So this is a very interesting exercise. So now you can just open your, file. So you started with this number. Okay, you have your name, everything is there.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. अब आपने क्या करना है? Just open a file because you will be exactly putting this is business plan WC, business plan inputs without WC, but WC is working capital. Okay, so first business plan is without working capital. As if I am selling everything in cash, I am not keeping any inventory. So there is no working capital. Just open this also. Okay, it will ask update. So say update. Okay, we can't update. Okay, fine, no problem. So इसमें भी आपको सब देखो इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान भी आ रहा है पहली शीट के अंदर सेम चीज है. ओके, देन सेलिंग एंड कॉस्ट प्राइस इट इज कमिंग हियर. ओके, देन गो टू इनकम स्टेटमेंट स्ट्रेट अवे. फाइन. अब ये इनकम स्टेटमेंट है, ये मैंने एक्सेल शीट पे पहले बना ली समझ लो. ओके, फिर बाद में लिंक भी करती फाइल से अल्टीमेटली. सो व्हाट इज माय डेस्कटॉप प्राइस 25,000. व्हाट इज माय लैपटॉप प्राइस 50,000. व्हाट इज माय वर्कस्टेशन प्राइस 5,000. दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव फिक्स्ड इनिशियली. नाउ इन द फर्स्ट ईयर माय सेल इज 624. ओके, so this is 624 into 25,000. I'll have a figure here, but here I have linked to my Excel sheet, so it's not giving the formula. It is basically the same thing. I'll just say अगर मैं यहाँ रखूं 25,000 into 624, so it will have 1 crore 56 lakhs as sales for desktops. Is that okay? Fine. आगे समझे? Now what I have done is, because since I have to make a monthly budget, but before that I'll just go to the sheet. Okay, first of all I'll just go to the sheet. Okay, I'll go to कौन सा शीट थी? यही थी ना? हाँ, FMB. ये वाली जो है हम निकाल देते हैं, क्लासरूम वाली मैं हटा देता हूँ, एक एक्स्ट्रा खुली हुई है. ओके, सो दिस इज द शीट. ओके, here what I am going to do, I go to the balance sheet straight away. Okay, ये फिगर कहां से आई थी? ओके, हम क्या करेंगे, अभी फिगर आपको कुछ नहीं देनी है, अभी हम निकाल दो सब फिगर्स. ओके, बाद में इसको देखते हैं. फिगर मैंने फिट करी थी बिगिनिंग में. ये कितनी है? 60 lakhs. ओके, कैश. सो फाइनेंसिंग में मैंने कुछ फिगर रखी हुई थी, हटा देता हूँ, उसको ब्लैंक कर देते हैं. सो व्हाट आई डू, आई जस्ट रीओपन अगेन. इट विल गेट डोंट सेव चेंजेस. सो आई एम जस्ट ओपनिंग अगेन. ओके, so that I start with a clean slate. Okay, so I open straight away my file, okay, without any numbers in it. Okay, so that means I have to go to assumptions. So I have to put my company name. It is PARVESHAGHI. Then we are going to have 2022 and start with April. Okay, and make it rupees here. ये हो गया. ठीक है, अब आपने क्या करना है, पहले जाओ बैलेंस शीट के अंदर. there are certain things which you have to supposed to do, and go to come under March 22, before the year begins, first month. Okay, go to share capital. यहां पर शेयर कैपिटल है, यहां आप 1 करोड़ डाल दो फिगर. 1 0 बढ़ाएगी. फाइन, 1 करोड़ आ गया. अच्छा, एंड दैट मीन्स आई पुट माई 1 करोड़ स्ट्रेट अवे इन द बैलेंस शीट. शेयर कैपिटल 1 करोड़ डाल दिया मैंने. अब आप देखोगे ऊपर, ये जो है ऊपर जो है कैश आपका 1 करोड़ आ गया, आ गया। और बैलेंस शीट नीचे देखो आप, बैलेंस शीट जो है इक्विटी लायबिलिटी और बैलेंस शीट बिल्कुल टाइट अप है, एंड इट्स सेइंग और एसेट्स इक्वल टू लायबिलिटी, ट्रू 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 ट्रू। सो व्हेनेवर यू मेक एन एंट्री, चेक मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम दैट our assets and liabilities equal. That means you have 1 crore share capital, 1 crore cash balance with you. So your balance sheet is tight up. Fine. So look at the true. So that means there is no problem you have done. Okay. So whenever you make an error, this will become false. Now go to the capex. Go to financing. Financing. Go to bank loan. Okay. Take a bank loan. In March 22 itself, 4 crores. $4 crore आ गया?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And just for sake of this thing, add 1 crore in the next. April में 1 crore और add कर दो. Total मेरा 5 crore का प्रोजेक्ट है. I am assuming 4 crores upfront I'll take, 1 crore I'll take in the next month. Okay. So I'm just assuming. Fine. तो मेरे पास कितना आ गया? 5 ये आ गया और 1 आ गया इक्विटी, तो 6 करोड़ हो गया. लेट मी जस्ट चेक हाउ मच वी हैव डन हियर. एनीवे विल चेक दैट लेटर.
यहाँ पे भी हो रहा है सर.
हाँ,
हो गया सर.
तो अब आप ये देखो आपका जो है कैप, हाँ ये देखो इक्विटी 1 है और बोरिंग 5 है. इतना ही लिया हुआ था आपने, ठीक है, वही आपने डाल दिया इसके अंदर बिजनेस प्लान में अपना. अब आप चेक करोगे, देखो फिर बैलेंस शीट चेक करोगे तो आप अपना फिर आपका टाई अप हो जाएगा. So you have, your cash balance will go up to 6 crore now. Fine. मार्च में 5 करोड़ है, फिर आगे जाके अप्रैल में 6 करोड़ हो गया. Okay. Fine. And your balance sheet is going to tie up. Is that okay? Fine. ये हो गया. अब आप यहाँ कैपेक्स में चले जाओ. कैपेक्स में that you are going to buy equipments. Okay. So what I have done is, since you have 6 crores with you, 1 crore I have used it. Okay. बाकी वर्किंग कैपिटल के लिए यूज होगा. आपने बोला कहां से आएगा, तो कुछ पैसा उसके लिए रखना पड़ेगा. तो हमने क्या करा, हमने यहां पर अभी फिलहाल जस्ट फॉर आवर कन्वीनियंस वी हैव पुट ऑल दिस एज प्लांट. ओके, प्लांट टाइप 10 years. चूज द टाइप 10 years. इसकी 10 साल लाइफ है. एंड अप्रैल में ही इसको 5 करोड़ डाल दो आप. ओके. Of course, we are buying machine, equipment, everything. So assume that everything is we have put, for just to make matter very simple, we have bought 5 crores worth equipment, plant. 5 करोड़ हो गया. अब आप बैलेंस शीट में जाओ वापस, देखो अब आपका आपका जो बैलेंस है कैश बैलेंस वो 1 करोड़ रह गया होगा जो पड़ा हुआ आपके पास. ओके, 1 करोड़ बैलेंस रह गया. और आपका जो है एसेट्स कहां आ गए आपके, यहां पर नीचे जाओगे आप, योर मार्केटेबल एसेट्स, टेंजिबल एसेट्स 5 करोड़ यहां आ गया. ओके. और फिर आपका लॉन्ग टर्म लोन्स 5 करोड़ आ गया. ठीक है. और फिर आपका ये बैलेंस शीट आपकी फिर टाई अप हो गई. ठीक है. अब आगे जाके आपकी माइनस क्यों आ रही है, क्योंकि आपकी डेप्रिसिएशन पॉपुलेट हो गई है. आपने इसकी लाइफ 10 साल दी थी ना, तो डेप्रिसिएशन प्रॉफिट लॉस में चली गई है. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज गिविंग ऑल दिस नंबर्स. ओके. तो आपकी कितनी की इक्विपमेंट है? 5 करोड़. 5 करोड़ की 5 करोड़ डिवाइडेड बाई 10, 50 लाख. तो आपकी 50 लाख होनी चाहिए टोटल मिला के यहाँ एक्सपेंडिचर. तो ये 11 महीने की है तो 4 लाख. यू जस्ट चेक दैट. हाँ, आ गया पूरा. तो ठीक है. तो आप प्रॉफिट लॉस में चेक हो गए. तो प्रॉफिट लॉस में इसकी डेप्रिसिएशन आपकी ईयर 1 में 45 लाख है, क्योंकि आपका अप्रैल में कोई डेप्रिसिएशन नहीं है. डेप्रिसिएशन जो आ रही है 11 महीने की आ रही है पहले साल, और अगले सालों में 50 लाख की पूरी आ जाएगी. आप देखोगे 50 लाख आ रही है. पहले महीने में वी हैव 11 months depreciation coming in because you bought your machines in the month of April. So maybe the first year depreciation he has not charged, so the second year depreciation is charged. Is that okay? Second month.
सर एक बार कैपेक्स वाला टैब भी देखो.
कैपेक्स वाला. आपने प्लांट में जाना है, टाइप 10. ओके. ये ऑटोमेटिकली ऊपर आ जाएगा आपका. यहाँ पर ये ऊपर भी 10 साल में आ जाएगा, डेप्रिसिएशन कैलकुलेट कर देगा आपकी. और इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट द डेप्रिसिएशन एट द बॉटम, यहाँ पर डेप्रिसिएशन भी नीचे आ रही है कहीं. So depreciation of the new fixed assets is coming there at the bottom in the capex itself. Is that okay?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes.
So you have put money, you have taken a loan of 5 crores, you have put 1 crore yourself, you have bought all the plant to manufacture the products. I put it in an easy effect manner, I am not complicated, अभी ऐसा डाल देते हैं और सब कुछ आ गया, अब आपको प्रोडक्शन शुरू करनी है. ओके, यू हैव योर एवरीथिंग इज रेडी, फाइन. सो अब आप क्या करेंगे, सेल्स प्लान में जाएंगे. ओके, and go to the first month of sales. Okay, so April 22. Okay, just go back to your sheet, which is the summary sheet which I have made. Go to income statement. यहां पर ये है कि नहीं. अब यहां पर आप खाली कॉलम में प्लस कीजिए और इसको ईयरली सेल दी हुई, हमें मंथली कर देंगे. हम मान देंगे मंथली जो है सेल्स होगी, सॉरी इस फिगर को 12 से डिवाइड कर दो. तो इसका मतलब 13 लाख सेल होगी आपकी. किसकी? डेस्कटॉप की. तो अब आप 13 लाख यहां डालिए, सेल्स एंड राइट डेस्कटॉप and put 13 lakhs. Fine, 13 lakhs. And then assume, for a very simple reason, that your sales for the entire 12 months will be same. तो आपकी देखो सेल ये 1,56,00,000 आ गई. अब प्रोडक्ट 2 सेम चीज करो, फिर क्या है, लैपटॉप और नीचे क्या है आपका, वर्क स्टेशन. ठीक है, अब आप जाके वहां से मंथली फिगर ले आओ. So instead of taking this 13 lakhs, so what you are doing is you are taking 1 crore this thing divided by 12, so it will be 10 lakhs. Laptops 10 lakh के. You can always make and ramp up your sale month by month you want, but just to understand the first basics, we are keeping everything simple. You can always complicate it. पहले महीने में फिर बढ़ गई 2%, फिर 5% बढ़ गई, ऐसे बढ़ा सकते हो. ओके, यहां 10 लाख, तो 10 लाख लैपटॉप होगी. वर्क स्टेशन क्या है, हाउ मच इज द वर्क स्टेशन? नहीं, हाँ, तो उसको डिवाइड कर दो 12 से, कितना आएगा? हाँ, 3,25,000. ओके, इसको भी पॉपुलेट कर दो सबको. और अब आप सेल चेक करो, सेल पूरे साल की कितनी आ गई? 3,15,00,000 आ गई ऊपर. और आपकी इनकम स्टेटमेंट में भी 3,15,00,000 है, समराइज में आ रही है. ठीक है, फाइन. अब आप नीचे जाओ, कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स सोल्ड में, ये तो यहां पर आप आपको फिगर डालनी है. अभी वो पूरी वही फिगर ले रहा है. आप यहां आ जाओ एंड में, ये मार्कअप. तो मार्कअप के लिए आप वापस जाओ अपनी एक्सेल शीट में कि आपका मार्कअप क्या था. तो सेलिंग
55, 58 or 60.
55, 68 and 60. Okay, so just we have to fill up that. 55, 58
60%.
and 60%. Sorry. Fine. So the moment you do, अब आप ये आपने डाल दिया, go back to your profit loss account. Now you can just see. Okay. आपका ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट के लेवल तक आ गया, ग्रॉस इनकम आ गई. ग्रॉस इनकम कितनी आ रही है? 1,14,03,000. ये फिगर,
अच्छा, टोटल
ईयर की फिगर, ईयर 1 की फिगर जो है वो आ रही है 1,14,00,000.
3,000 और 47.
हाँ, ये आ रही है ना फिगर, ये आ रही है.
टोटल.
अब आप अपनी इनकम स्टेटमेंट में चेक करो जो आपने बना के रखी हुई है एज अ बैकअप बिजनेस प्लान. इसमें इनकम स्टेटमेंट में जाओ और देखो ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट कितने हैं. ये 1,14,03,000 आ रहा है. फाइन. अब आपने क्या करना है, अब आप एक बार फिर चेक कर लो अपना कि आपकी बैलेंस शीट सब मिल रही है, सब कुछ आ रहा है. बैलेंस शीट में जाओ तो आपकी बैलेंस शीट मिली जा रही है, ट्रू है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. अब आपको क्या करना है, आप सुनिए. वापस जाइए आप सेल्स प्लान, सॉरी प्रॉफिट लॉस में, ओके। और सेलिंग एंड, यहां जाओ, सेलिंग एंड पर्सनल एक्सपेंसेस, ओके। यहां डालिए प्लस साइन और इनटू कर दीजिए सेल्स। सेल का कितना है 5%,
5%।
इसको 5% सेल के साथ 5% दे दीजिए इनटू 5%, एंटर। ये आ गई आपकी।
सर सेल का 5% है ना?
हाँ, तो वहां प्लस डालो सेल्स में और फिर इसको कॉपी पेस्ट कर दो सब जगह पे, पहले पहले ही डाल दो ये, है ना, डाल दिया। फिर आ जाओ अदर पर्सनल एक्सपेंसेस में। अदर पर्सनल एक्सपेंसेस कितने हैं? अदर पर्सनल एक्सपेंसेस कितने हैं? फाइल में चेक करो।
6 लाख।
नहीं 6 लाख तो है क्या, एजम्पशन क्या दिया? एजम्पशन शीट चेक करो, जो हमारी एजम्पशन शीट थी ये वाली एजम्पशन शीट। हाँ 50,000 पर मंथ था वहां से, तो यहां पर आपको डालना है 50,000, तो यहां तो सीधा 50,000 डाल दो, ओके, डल गया। बाद में कॉपी पेस्ट करके सारा कर देना, पहले सारा एक महीना कर लेते हैं। रेंट एंड शॉप एक्सपेंसेस 2.5 लाख, नहीं 2.5 लाख है, उसमें चेक करो आप। हाँ नहीं वो कुछ छोड़ दो आप, ये चीज देखो यहां पर,
वहां से दिखाना, इसको चेक
ये आपका है ना, जैसे सेल्स हो गया, फिर ये रेंट आ गया 2 लाख, 2.5 लाख होगा तो कितना होगा? 30 लाख होना चाहिए ना, कुछ होना चाहिए। चलो एनीवे तुम 2.5 डाल दो फिलहाल, अभी चेक करते हैं, अभी चेक करते हैं, ओके। फिर हाँ मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट है अगेन वही 5%, तो इनटू ये जो सेल्स है इनटू 5%, ओके।
सर 0.25% है ना?
नहीं मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट 5%, मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट और सेल्स का सेम है। फिर आपका डेप्रिसिएशन आ गया, ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा। अदर सेलिंग एक्सपेंसेस जो है वो 0.25% है ना, इनटू 0.25%, इज इट? ये भी एंटर कर दो। एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन रेवन्यूशन कितनी है? 1,25,000, चेक कर देना। अदर सेलिंग कॉस्ट कितनी है?
सर अदर सेलिंग कॉस्ट के लिए क्या फॉर्मूला है आपको?
मैंने वही लगाया 0.25%, है कितनी वैसे? 0.25 है, ठीक है। और एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रेवन्यूशन कितनी है? 1,50,000 है, 1,25,000 है? यहां हमने दी हुई है ना, ये है ना, अच्छा। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव में 1,25,000 है और ये 0.25 है, ये हो गया। और 15,000 है अदर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट, है ना, ये है ना स्लाइड जो थी है ना, तो कितने हैं? 15,000 है अदर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट। तो अदर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट में आपको कितना करना है? 15,000 सॉरी, फाइन। अब आपने क्या करना है, ये सब चीजें जो है कॉपी कर देनी है यहां तक, ठीक है, और ये भी कॉपी कर देनी है। अगर कोई गड़बड़ होगी पता चल जाएगा, हमने वो बनाई हुई है ना अपनी स्टेटमेंट नीचे। डेवलपमेंट कॉस्ट को छोड़ देना, कुछ नहीं है, हमने ली 1,80,000। तो हमारे जो खर्चे आ गए टोटल मिला मिलो के, कुछ तो गड़बड़ हुई है। अब देखो गड़बड़ क्या करी है आपने। आपका जो ग्रॉस इनकम वो तो मिल गई थी। सेलिंग एंड जीएस खर्चे आ रहे हैं 1,30,00,000, स्टेटमेंट में जाइए, वहां सेलिंग एंड इक्विपमेंट कॉस्ट आ रहे हैं आपके, ये सारे खर्चे 83 लाख आ रहे हैं ना पहले साल के। अच्छा सेल्स का गलत, अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, एक सेकेंड, मतलब इधर में 5% है, 50,000 है, 2,500 है, हाँ 0.2, ये नहीं, मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट भी थी। फर्स्ट वाला कितना है? क्यों 15,75,000 तो खर्चा है उसमें, देखो 15,75,000।
कितना 5% है ना टोटल सेल्स?
अदर पर्सनल एक्सपेंसेस जो हैं आपके, अदर पर्सनल एक्सपेंस 6 लाख है, 6 लाख है, तो 6 लाख है, तो ये 6 लाख आ रहे हैं, ठीक है, ये भी सही आ रहे हैं। एक एक चेक करके जाओ ना। रेंट एंड वाले जो खर्चे आ रहे हैं वो 30 लाख आ रहे हैं, है ना?
हाँ सर 30 लाख है।
तो वहां कितना दिखाएगा? 28 लाख 50 है, 30 हजार?
नहीं 30 लाख है सर यहाँ पे रेंट एंड अदर शॉप एक्सपेंसेस।
देखें, ये नहीं, ये देखो, ये 28 लाख 50 हजार है।
सर assumption में ठीक है।
हाँ, अजम्पशन में ठीक है। मैंने पता क्या करा है, आई जस्ट टेल यू, मैं बताता हूँ हमने क्या करा है। हमने ना पहले महीने में थोड़ा कम ले लिया है, रेंट एंड प्रोडक्शन हमने 1 लाख रुपए ले लिया सपोज फॉर एग्जाम्पल। अब देखते हैं ये आ गया। आई जस्ट मेड सम चेंजेस बिकॉज आई फाउंड, मैं बाद में बताऊँ उससे लॉजिक क्या है। 1 लाख कर दिया पहले महीने में, 1 लाख है ना? क्योंकि आपने कोई जगह रेंट पे दी थी तो पहले महीने में पूरा रेंट नहीं दिया, आपने कुछ टाइम के लिए दिया था, एज्यूम दैट, ओके। फिर अगले महीने से फुल रेंट शुरू हो गया। दिस एजम्पशन आई हैव मेड, ओके फाइन। अब मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट इज हाउ मच? मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट इज 15,75,000। 15,75,000 यही आ रही है?
मार्केटिंग कॉस्ट 15,75,000।
हाँ ठीक आ रही है। डेप्रिसिएशन आ रही है 45,83,000। डेप्रिसिएशन कितनी आ रही है? 5,83,000, ठीक है, ओके। और फिर हमारी है, फिर आगे चलते हैं, हम देखते हैं अदर क्या था। डेप्रिसिएशन होगी अदर सेलिंग कॉस्ट कहाँ है? ये
78,750।
ये भी इतना ही आ रही है?
सर
नहीं, आप इसके चेक कर लो। हाँ 78 आ रही है, ठीक है। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रेम्यूनरेशन 15 लाख,
15 लाख है सर।
उतनी आ रही है?
यस सर। अदर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन
तो यहाँ क्या हो गया, एक एक रुपए ऐड हो गया मेरा तो, है ना? तो इसको हमें, कुछ गड़बड़ हो गई यहाँ पर, इसको मैं ऐसे टॉक, हाँ ठीक है, 15 हो गई। और अदर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कॉस्ट 1,80,000,
सेम है सर।
यही है।
यस सर।
अब आप देखो कि ईयर 1 में आपका प्रॉफिट कितना आ रहा है, लॉस आ रहा है
लॉस आ रहा है सर।
15,39,000 का, 15,40,000। अब आप इसे चेक कर लो आपकी स्टेटमेंट से, हाँ इतना ही आ रहा है। देखो जो लॉस आ रहा है 15,39,000 मिल गया,
इंटरेस्ट, हाँ सर ये
ओके। इसको आप सेव कर लो पहले, फाइन। अब आपने क्या करना है, नाउ ये टू कंप्लीट द रेस्ट। अब हम थोड़ा सा ब्रेक भी लेंगे।
15 करोड़ तो ये प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्सेस, प्रॉफिट बिफोर